Dear friend, I hope you are a part of this now with me now. Hope you are enjoying us. I had a business little venture today, which kind of came up at the last minute. So I had to drive through, took the Yugo out, it's a stretch, and had to drive through Times Square, right around the Port Authority, in that area. And if you have any tendencies or inclinations to be stressful, fretful, if you tend to panic a lot, if that's your thing, you don't know what driving is unless you've been right around Times Square to 42nd, 8th Avenue. It is like a third world, absolute, I don't know what the word is, this third world insanity. A third world insanity that I cannot believe. Scooters, people, pedicabs, bikes, weed, illegals, women walking around with things hanging out. Disgusting, vile, just horrid. Oh, God. You have not seen this before. It's like what? It's like it's like a moonscape. It's from another planet. It's like nothing you've ever seen before in your life. I promise you. It is just, dear God. So anyway, so that's where I was. That's where I normally was. 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whatever. Now let's talk about a couple of things. First, I got to tell you this story. You're going to love this story. Maybe you won't. Maybe it's me. As you know, we have a bunch of people in this country who are babies when it comes to their politics. They're kind of babies. They don't really believe in causes. They believe in people. And as I've told you before, repeatedly, one of the most boneheaded moves, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I think it's worth noting. One of the most boneheaded moves is from your boyfriend, Tucker, who decides to have on this Andrew Tate because Edward Kemper apparently was busy. Stupid, idiotic, mind-bogglingly dumb. When we live in this world where everybody is focused on human trafficking and this and that, you get this guy who's basically being charged with presumed innocent, even if you're in Romania. This is the mentality. An hour and a half with this guy, anyway. So I said specifically, this is a very stupid move. It's a very stupid move. And instead of people saying, well, why do you think it's a stupid move? Or I think it's a good move. Or I think it's a great move. I think it deals with a valid subject. The exculpation of people charged with human trafficking. Whatever the particular reason was. No. You know what people said? Why are you so mean to Tucker? This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Children, babies. Got your feelings hurt because you love my Tucker. Unbelievable. Well, what about the argument? I don't know an argument. Be nice to him. I like him. He's my nigga. Oh, jeez. Whoa. Next point. Ray Epps is charged. Did you see that? Ray Epps is charged. Holy Mother of God. What do you think about that? Why was Ray Epps charged? And his lawyer said he was informed of this a while back. Ray Epps says to be charged for January 6th conspiracy, dampening Fox News conspiracy theory. Well, and I told you, I said, this is good news for him. Good news, the Ray Epps conspiracy theory that he was an undercover FBI agent was fueled in part by the fact that he was never charged. Well, so much for that. He's going to be charged. And it's incredible. Unbelievable. And this is just... So I'm curious, dear friends of the clerisy, what do you think about that? What's your take? Come on, everybody. What do you think about this? What do you think about that old Ray Epps being charged? Do you think they did this for... Why did they do this? Was this even necessary? Was this required? Why are you charging Ray Epps with this? For the love of God. I mean, did you have to do it? It does kind of kill the case, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know how to say this, but, there goes that theory. What do you think about this? The Epps lawsuit is not over, Puff. The Epps lawsuit is going full force. In fact, it's going forward even faster. Because they were claiming, well, I think that he was a federal agent because he was never charged. So Tucker, your boyfriend, Tucker's always right because we love Tucker. And because he wasn't charged, that obviously looks like he is an agent. Well, guess what? He was just charged. Biden will pardon him. Michelle, this is a guy voted for Trump twice. He's a MAGA Trump guy through and through, who basically was saying, do you believe him? Do you believe? Do you think he had any idea what was going on? Do you believe he had any idea what was going on? Come on. Do you really think... Oh, another distraction. Thank you, Lizzie. Everything's a distraction. Everything. Well, it's a distraction. We need another distraction. Charge Epps. Okay. We need another one. How about conclude the White House cocaine investigation? Now, is that the most stupid thing in the world? Optics, ladies and gentlemen. Optics. They wouldn't want to break his cover. Break his cover? They didn't break his cover. January 6th. This is July 13th. Break his cover? What are you talking about? Everybody else was charged. People are probably still in the gulag for all we know. What the hell's going on here? Do you have any idea what's going on? Squirrel. You wonderful people love the idea of distraction. You love it. It's your favorite. It's a distraction. Merely changing the subject. It's a distraction. That's right. It's a distraction. They're so good at the distraction. Always changing. What am I trying to say? Controlled opposition. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan W. says, Mr. L, why can't people see your point about Tate? What is the fascination with this jadrule? Jonathan, I swear to God, you were so right, my friend, by the way. Jonathan, if you said, hey, listen, I'm going to be doing an hour-and-a-half interview. Let's say you were Tucker. Now, I say now Tuck or Jonathan. I think we need to work on this thing. You've been gone for a long time now, and you've only done 9? Yeah. 9? There are people doing unboxing curling iron shows. They're doing 10, 12 a day. What are you doing? Well, I don't want to take too much time. Tucker, why don't you got to do more of these. Well, I don't want to do that much. I'm still working the thing out with that big high-priced lawyer in L.A., I'm trying to get this. Tucker, do you still work for Fox? Well, I don't really know if what do you mean you don't know if you don't know? Do you work for Fox or not? Well, I don't know. Are they telling you can't work? Is that it? Because if they're telling you can't work, you are doing these videos. What the hell's going on here? What are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish? Does anybody know what the hell's going on here? Does anybody have any clue? as to what the hell is going on here? Does anybody know anything? I'm just saying, does anybody have any idea what's going on here? Well, I was sitting there saying, now listen, here's what we're going to do. Now listen to me very carefully. Now look, Tucker, and everybody else for that matter, we're going to make sure that we spend every hour of the day. We want to make sure that every one of your stories, every one of your is important. And by the way, don't just rehash. We want them to be special. We don't want you to say the usual stuff about the media are biased. We know that. We want you to go out there and do something. I still like this idea to have I want a studio with young people with their heads blackened or darkened by the silhouette of no light. That's what I want. And I want all this. And I want all these people to be lined up in this theater, each of them representing a child ravaged by human trafficking, each of them in view of sound of freedom. And I would pledge, I'd make a monetary pledge where you're gonna create a foundation, the Tucker Carlson Family Foundation for something or other, to help these kids. Because these kids who try to get back into the real world, this is true as a matter of fact, I think I told you this, we have, Mrs. L has friends of hers and people she works with, emergency room nurses in particular, who have to deal with these girls. You wouldn't believe the trauma. You wouldn't believe there are people today who were themselves the victims of this when they were kids. And when you are basically tossed around from person to person, you're not treated very nicely. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but they are permanently and sometimes irreparably damaged. They are forever incontinent. They are unable to conceive. It's horrible. Wouldn't that be great if Tucker did something to say, wow? And my line would be, so are these, I look in the camera and say, are these conspiracy theorists? Do you think they're injuries? Is this a conspiracy? Have you ever seen lacerations? Have you ever seen the physical? I'm going to show you a picture. Show people. Show one. Show some suturing. Don't really say where it is. And say, I'm not going to tell you where this is, but let me just show this to you. Imagine you're 8 years old. This is what you got to go through. Is this a conspiracy? Maybe this is what some kind of rite of, some type of marking that they get when they join the club. That would be great, Tucker, if you did that. So instead, who are you talking to? Whom are you talking to? Andrew Tate instead. Okay. So, that's over there. Epps. Now let's talk about the cocaine thing. Let's talk about the cocaine at the White House. Now, first of all, how many think it's Joe Biden's cocaine? If ever anybody needed cocaine, it's Joe Biden. It would help him. He's doing the Adderall thing and the B12 from what I hear. Do a couple of lines of blow, some Peruvian flake, and let him start grinding his teeth and, going like this and making all this noise and just doing this a lot and snorting and coughing and doing all that and swallowing. And yeah, it might help. Because he needs something. But I don't think it's Joe Biden's cocaine. I don't think it's anybody's cocaine. Why? And why is it Hunter's cocaine? Hunter lives at the White House. Don't kid you. He lives there. He's got his own room. He's got his own room. He's got a place where you can go and you can, what am I trying to tell you? You can... He's got bookshelves. He's got his own room. He doesn't have to throw him. You think he's, oh, God, he's holding. Remember that? Anybody holding? Anybody holding? Here. Anybody? Huh? Got a little something for you? Anybody a little pick me up? Huh? Anybody? Oh, God. The heat's here. I got to get rid of this. Here, throw it in cubicle 20 where they normally put the phones. One question, yeah. I'm Hunter Biden. What the hell am I doing here anyway? This is where the pedestrians are. What am I doing here? I don't know. Just hide it. It was probably one of two things. One, somebody who works there which is somebody of the security staff, somebody they got more people walking around the White House than you can imagine. And they'll all look 12 years old. You have that, or somebody who may have planted it for a distraction, Lizzie. Maybe a distraction. I don't know. And nobody, the DOJ, FBI, well, we did a series of testing, DNA and molecular spectrometry. There's no physical evidence, no nothing. We don't know what the hell this is. Really, this is the most surveilled house on the planet. The White House. And if anything is going to be loaded with cameras, it's where those people go. Where the hoi polloi, where, visitors, that's where you want all the cameras. Cameras everywhere, zeroing in, facial recognition. They've got some of the best NSA technology. Don't give me this mierda about how we have no idea. And that's terrific. What if this was anthrax? What if this was something? But let me ask you a question. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine what it would be like if instead of the Biden administration, it was the Trump administration. Dear God, can you imagine what that would be? Can you imagine? They would have everybody they'd be issuing search warrants, Roger Stone 4 a.m. ninja search warrants, with CNN miraculously there for some particular reason, just by happenstance. They would have grand juries impaneled 24 hours a day, bringing in everybody to make them break, put them on that stand, grill them, make them wonder what the hell's going on here. Make them wonder. All right, you work for... Whose is it? We know it's you. But this was we tried our best. And also, ladies and gentlemen, today, BLM turns 10 years old. How about that, huh? BLM turns 10 years old. I don't even know what to say about those folks. And one more thing. Do you remember a while back I told you that it was going to be Gavin Newsom, of course, but that Gretchen Whitmer, remember that? Remember I said they're talking about Gretchen Whitmer as his running mate? I saw it today. Her name's coming up. Sure as shooting. You betcha. Yeah, buddy. Because he is going to be the next president of the United States. Because they're going to steal that thing legally. Remember, the Republicans stole it legally. They did everything. Ballot harvesting, ballot this, ballot. They knew what they were doing. Oh, dear God, are they good. It's not even funny. One more thing, by the way, speaking of this surveillance. Remember when people said, hey, whatever happened to those pictures from the White House, from the Pentagon, of that plane flying into the Pentagon on September the 11th? You got to have a picture of that. Oh my God. You got to get a picture of that. A plane flying into the, holy God. You know how many cameras there are at the Pentagon? I heard a story one time of a guy who was lost or he was in the wrong, and all of a sudden these people showed up. Can I help you? He's like, oh, wow, where the hell did you come from? This is the Pentagon. Hello, it's the Pentagon. You dig? Yeah, I guess I dig. Yeah, it's the Pentagon. I remember they said, well, where's the photos? And by the way, if you've ever been in Washington, you're in Virginia, wherever it is you're driving on, and you say, oh, there's the Pentagon. Wow, I'm surprised somebody, a lot of people have cameras, and nobody had a camera that day. But they finally said, hey, here's the picture. Oh, you got the picture? Yep, we can show you. Of the plane? Yep. It was like 2 frames. It's like the Loch Ness Monster. That's it. That's all we got. Wait a minute. Those are the two cameras? And that's it? That's all we got. And nobody said, come on, where's the rest of the pictures? Well, that's the way it is with the White House. Oh, well, don't have it. What are you going to do about it? So, my friends, don't worry about this. We knew they weren't going to get to the... We knew it. Come on. We knew it. We knew they weren't going to do it. We knew they weren't going to find out or let us know anything. Because these people are so corrupt. To even call them corrupt doesn't even come close to what they are. It's just one of those things, dear friends. One of those things. It just makes you wonder, like, wow. And you hear that thing about that woman, Caitlin, what the hell's her name? CNN? It was a real dog of a show. Did you see that one? Caitlin Collins, or whatever her name is. Remember the one who she was a part of the Trump town hall. I mean, I thought she was good. She never let Trump. Her show's a dog. And by the way, somebody sent me a picture of that Elizabeth Vargas trying to lay into. By the way, do me a favor. Don't argue with Bobby Kennedy about vaccines. Don't even. She even said, that's not what the vaccine company said. Excuse me, Vargas. You know about this? This man's been reading this. Say what you want. He's been talking about, and the best part about Bobby Kennedy, he says, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I've taken vaccines my whole life. He said when he was a kid, he went to Africa, and he said, I've had more vaccines than you can imagine. He said, I just think they should be tested. You got a problem with that? Well, because this is her last trip to Palookaville. She's on a network nobody knows about, doing the best she can. And she says, I'm going to come out, I'm going to be a ball buster. I'm going to smash this culione like that. And maybe I'll get, I don't know, it'll go viral or something. I mean, I'm on the back nine here, folks. I got to do something. And he just ripped her apart. He just doesn't lose his cool. Doesn't lose his cool. I saw an interview with Piers Morgan. Kissed his arse like you can't believe. A bootlicker, a lickspittle, an obeisant, fawning, obsequious little the lickspittle. Yeah. A toady. It was amazing. Still like Bobby. Still like him. No matter what he's done, no matter what, I don't care what he is a breath of fresh air. And Ron DeSantis still is collapsing. So anyway, dear friends, it's now 86 degrees in New York City. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are safe and sound and wonderful and great and terrific. And I hope you're feeling wonderful. You know what we're going to do? We're going to be back again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Sorry for the delay. I normally do it at 7 o'clock, but I had stuff to do. I had to negotiate that traffic. And also a special thanks to our good friend, Mr. Jonathan W., for your most kind donation to the cause, Jonathan. Jonathan, you're a real man and an American, and I love you, and I thank you for that. All right, dear friends, we'll see you again tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. 8 a.m. in the morning. You have a great and a glorious day. And until then, don't forget this valedictory, this denouement, this sayonara, this adios. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.